How's it going, everybody? So in today's video, we are finally going to address the 5 major performance mods that I've done to my CRF250L to help me ride it how I ride it.
Perfect.
So for those of you out there that are new to the channel, I am most known for the CRF250L riding that I do. Over the past 2 years, I've really put this bike to the test and shown the world what it can do. This dual sport gets a bad rap from a lot of people. They say it's heavy, it's overweight, it's this, that, and the other, but it's all just excuses. This is a very capable machine, and with the right mods, you can do a lot with this bike. So without further ado, let's get right into this. These are the 5 major performance mods that I've done to the CRF250L to make it what it is. Alright, so let's start from the ground up. First things first, tires. Tires are the most important part about a motorcycle. Without a proper set of tires for the tasks chosen, you're gonna have a hard time getting where you wanna go. So when I bought this bike used 2 years ago, it came with a set of Honda Trackmaster 2s. And as most of you on the channel know, I used the crap out of those tires. I ran them till there was nothing left. I did a lot of street riding on them as well, and I think they're a 90-10 tire, 90 being off-road obviously, but they perform amazing off-road. They provide a lot of grip, and the hard compound allows them to last longer than other tires. Currently, I have a Shinko 505 Cheater on the rear, and although this tire was amazing off-road, it was super soft and it wore down fast. Also, this tire is way too big for the machine. As you can see, my exhaust is all scraped up, but my Honda Trackmaster did that as well. But a way you can get away from that is just spacing the exhaust out with some washers, or if you want to spend the money, you can get an aftermarket exhaust, but we'll get into that here in a bit. So I do not recommend the Shinko 505 Cheater if you're going to be doing a lot of on-road riding, which is what I like to do on a dual sport. But I will be getting another Honda Trackmaster 2 for the rear very soon, and I'll go ahead and link those down in the description below, as well as all the other products that I'm going to be showing you in this video. I know people say a lot of good things about the Dunlop D606, but they're more expensive, and the Trackmaster 2s have just done me so well that this is what I'm going to be running on all of my bikes in the future. But moving on, this has to be one of my most asked questions on the channel about the 250L, the sprocket size. So when I bought this bike, it came with a 13-tooth sprocket in the front and a 42 in the rear. Now the stock gearing on this bike is 1440, and the 1342 is one of the most common combinations of sprocket size for this bike. And I've got to say, I rode a friend of mine's CRF250L and it felt like a slug compared to this. That's also to do with a couple other mods that I have done, but you will definitely be able to notice the torque on the low end, and for off-roading, that's a major win. So that is the sprocket size that I recommend. Go ahead and pick you up a 1342 sprocket combination. I'll link those in the description below as well. By the way, all of these mods that are done to the 250L, you can do yourself very easily. I'm gonna have to freshen this bike up soon, so I'll have videos on that coming shortly. So if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed and turn the notifications on. So moving on, this is another frequently asked question here on the channel. What exhaust am I running? A lot of people love the sound of this bike, myself included. You know what? It's one of the cheapest mods that you can do, and it doesn't cost you anything. So with the stock exhaust on this bike, it has a huge spark arrestor, which also acts as a baffle to keep the noise down. Now, most, if not all trails that I know of, you are required to have a spark arrestor, so I don't necessarily recommend doing this mod, and it just depends on how you plan on riding it. But if you're cheap like me and you want to get some performance gains, go ahead and remove that baffle. You're not only going to get a better sound, but it's going to free up the exhaust flow even more, but that also means that you're going to have to rejet it. So you're probably like, wait, this is fuel injected. How are you gonna rejet it? So thankfully, there's some really affordable, easy options for you to do. And when I bought this bike, it already came installed with an electronic jet kit. So first off, I am a huge fan of fuel injection. That's another thing that I love about this bike. This is my first fuel injected dirt bike, and I gotta say, I don't wanna go back to carburetors. I ride this thing year round, 100 degrees in the summer, below freezing in the winter. I've had this thing out on the ice, and we take it everywhere. and I've got to say, this has never skipped a beat. It's been like -5 degrees Fahrenheit actual temperature, and this bike always fired up, no problem. And I definitely do not miss playing with carburetors, trying to get the jet size correct for the altitude and temperature. It can just be a major headache, and the fuel injection system on this bike is so refined, and I absolutely love it. So some key features of the electronic jet kit: no computer needed, no dyno required, plug and play installation. It takes minutes to install. The base settings are preset. As you can see, I have my 250L on level 3, and I've never had to touch this thing. It runs perfect in all climate conditions, and it doesn't interfere with the stock ECU. It's water resistant, and it comes with a 2-year warranty. So there's only a few factors that's going to determine what settings you want on your electronic jet kit. Say you want to get an FMF exhaust with the power bomb header, you're going to have a lot more exhaust flow, so you're going to have to compensate. Also, another popular mod that people do on a lot of motorcycles is an airbox mod. What they'll do is they'll cut some holes in their airbox, or just one big hole, and with the combination of letting more air in and more air out of your exhaust, you're gonna get more power gains. So once again, the electronic jet kit is a must if you're gonna be playing with the exhaust or air ratios. If you haven't already picked one up, I'll drop it down in the description below. So let's reflect a little bit. Tires, sprocket, exhaust, fuel controller. Those are the 4 major mods that are done to this machine that help give it that little extra kick, and it really opens the bike up a lot and helps it perform better on and off the road. So the last performance mod that I decided to put in this list was handlebars. They make hundreds of different styles of handlebars, but I like to put fat bars on all of my big dirt bikes. So the 250L comes from the factory with 7/8 bars, and they're pretty flimsy, so you might want to get those off there as soon as you can so you don't drop it on the trails and bend your bars. You're going to need a set of risers. I'm using the Pro Taper 7/8 to 1 1/8 riser, and I've absolutely loved them. They bring the bars up a little bit more, and that helps me because I'm a taller guy. These are actually Renthal fat bars off of my DRZ. The style that I recommend the most is the CR High, so that's what I'll drop down below. I've ran the CR High on all my bikes, and I absolutely love it. And I know you guys see some other bells and whistles here and there, so I'll be making a separate video in the future of all the aesthetic mods that are done to it that also can help out on the trails. But that is it. That is all of the performance mods that I have done to the 250L. There's no secrets to it. These mods aren't going to help you become a better rider, but they will help you push this bike harder. And there's no easy way to get better on the trails. You just got to get out there, keep riding, keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to get better. Don't make any excuses. You've seen what this bike has been through, and that's another thing. This machine has held up like a tank. I've dropped it more times than I can count. I've constantly abused this machine, and it loves it. I love this bike. I really don't want to get rid of it anytime soon. It's just been so good to me, and I've had a lot of amazing times on this bike. This really is what dual sporting is all about. Reliability, good street performance. We got 6 gears. This is just a CBR 250R engine, and although it's a heavier machine, it has a lot of good performance. And yeah, a lot of people just like to run their mouths, and it's just a competition with who's better, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. And if you have any doubts, hit me up. I'll come out and ride with you, show you what this thing can do, and I'll be right there behind you. So I hope that answers all of your questions on what's done to this bike. Definitely one of my most requested videos, so I'm glad I could make it happen. Plenty of mods coming to this bike soon, but if you're interested in getting anything that I showed you in today's video, it'll be down in the description below. Also, be sure to hit that like button for finally bringing you guys this video. We're gonna be putting some love into this bike very soon, getting it in tip-top shape for some fall riding and winter riding, so be sure you're subscribed and have those notifications on. If you have any more questions about this bike, feel free to drop it in the comments below. But until tomorrow's video, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you then.